I'm 82 years old, and I'm about to tell you something that nobody wants to hear. Something that will happen to you whether you prepare for it or not. Something that no amount of money, success, or positive thinking can prevent. After age 75, you will lose things. Important things. Things you take for granted right now. Things you think you'll have forever. And here's what makes this hard to accept. There's nothing you can do to stop it. But here's what nobody tells you. Losing these things might be the best thing that ever happens to you. I know that sounds crazy. It sounded crazy to me too when I was your age. But sitting here at 82, having lost almost everything I thought mattered, I've discovered something that changed how I see the rest of my life. The things you lose create space for the things that actually matter. Let me explain. I'm going to tell you about 7 things that will disappear after 75. 7 things that you're probably holding on to right now. 7 things that, when they're gone, will either break you or set you free. The choice is yours, but you need to know what's coming. Thing number 1, you will lose your perfect health. I know, you exercise, you eat well, you take your vitamins, you do everything right. It doesn't matter. After 75, your body starts to betray you. Not all at once, not dramatically, just slowly, quietly, persistently. Your knees ache when it rains. Your back stiffens when you sit too long. Your eyes need glasses for things you used to see clearly. Your ears miss words in crowded rooms. I was 76 when I realized I couldn't hear my wife clearly anymore. She would say something from the kitchen and I would hear sounds but not words. I would nod and smile and pretend I understood. One night she caught me. She said, "Harold, you have no idea what I just said, do you?" I admitted I didn't. She had asked if I wanted to visit our daughter that weekend. I had been nodding along to nothing. We laughed about it. But later that night, lying in bed, I felt something I hadn't felt in decades. Fear. My body was failing. The machine that had carried me through 76 years was starting to break down, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. But here's what I learned. When you stop expecting your body to be perfect, you start appreciating what it can still do. I can't hear whispers anymore, but I can hear my grandchildren laughing. I can't run anymore, but I can walk to the park and watch the sunset. I can't read small print anymore, but I can still read the books I love with the right glasses. Your body at 75 won't be your body at 35. Stop expecting it to be. Start thanking it for what it still gives you every single day. The people who suffer most after 75 are the ones who keep comparing themselves to who they used to be. They're angry at their bodies. They feel betrayed. The people who thrive are the ones who say, "This is the body I have now. What can I do with it today?" Accept the decline, appreciate the remainder. That's the secret. Thing number 3, you will lose old friends. This one is the one that hurts the most, more than health, more than purpose, more than anything. After 75, you start going to funerals. First, it's occasional, someone you knew from work, a neighbor you used to wave to, sad but distant. Then it gets closer. My best friend, Walter, died when I was 77. We had been friends for 52 years. We met at our first job out of college. We were groomsmen at each other's weddings. We played golf every Saturday for 30 years. When Walter died, a part of me died with him. Not metaphorically, literally. A part of my history, my identity, my story was gone, and no one on earth shared those memories the way Walter did. After Walter, there was Thomas, then Margaret, then Samuel, then Ruth. One by one, the people who knew me when I was young disappeared. The people who remembered my wedding, my children being born, my struggles and triumphs, gone. By 80, I looked around and realized that almost everyone who truly knew me was dead. This is the loneliness that no one talks about. Not the loneliness of being alone in a room,
the loneliness of being alone in your memories. But here's what I've learned. Every person who leaves creates space for gratitude. Not the gratitude that they're gone, the gratitude that they existed at all. I don't have Walter anymore, but I had Walter for 52 years. How many people can say that? How many people find a friend like that even once in their lifetime? I don't have those Saturday golf games anymore, but I had 30 years of them. 30 years of laughter, of competition, of two old men solving the world's problems between holes. When someone you love dies, you have a choice. You can focus on the loss, or you can focus on the gift. I choose the gift every single time. And something else happens when old friends leave. You start to appreciate the friends who remain with an intensity you never had before. Every conversation becomes precious. Every shared meal becomes a celebration. I have two close friends left. Robert is 84, Samuel is 79. We have lunch every Tuesday, and I can tell you I am more present at those lunches than I ever was at any meeting in my career. Because I know that any Tuesday could be the last one. That knowledge doesn't make me sad, it makes me grateful for every single Tuesday I still have. Thing number 4, you will lose your independence. I know you don't want to hear this. I didn't want to hear it either. You tell yourself you'll never need help, you'll never burden your children, you'll never be that old person who can't do things alone. Let me tell you about what happened to me last year. I was 81. I had been living alone since my wife passed 3 years earlier. I was managing, cooking my own meals, driving myself to appointments, taking care of the house. Then, one morning, I fell. I was getting out of the shower. My foot slipped. I went down hard on the bathroom tile. I heard something crack in my hip. The pain was like nothing I had ever felt. I lay there on that cold tile floor for 3 hours before my daughter found me. 3 hours, alone, in pain, unable to get up, unable to reach the phone that was sitting on my nightstand 15 feet away. In those 3 hours, I had a lot of time to think. I thought about all the times I had refused help, all the times my children had offered to check up on me more often, and I had said, "I'm fine, I don't need babysitting." All the times I had chosen pride over connection. My pride put me on that bathroom floor for 3 hours. After the hospital, after the surgery, after the rehabilitation, I made a decision. I moved in with my daughter. It was the hardest decision of my life, admitting that I couldn't live alone anymore, admitting that I needed help. But here's what nobody tells you about losing independence. You don't lose dignity, you gain intimacy. Living with my daughter, I see my grandchildren every day. I have dinner with family every night. Someone asks me how I'm doing and actually wants to know the answer. I traded independence for connection, and I got the better end of that deal.
The people who suffer most are the ones who cling to independence until it kills them. They refuse help until help comes too late. They die alone in houses they were too proud to leave. Let go of independence. Accept help gracefully. Trade pride for presence. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. Thing number 5, you will lose your relevance. This one is hard to explain until you experience it. When you're 40 or 50 or 60, people want your opinion. They ask for your advice. They include you in decisions. You matter. After 75, you start to become invisible. At family gatherings, conversations happen around you instead of with you. People speak louder and slower like you're a child. Your opinions are smiled at politely and then ignored. The world moves on, and you're no longer part of the movement. I remember the first time I realized this. I was at my grandson's birthday party. The adults were discussing politics, technology, the future. I tried to contribute something, made a point about something I had experienced. Everyone nodded politely. Then someone said, "That's interesting, Grandpa," in that tone. You know the tone, the one that means, "Thank you for trying, old man, but the adults are talking now."
I went home that night feeling smaller than I had felt in decades. But here's what I've learned. Relevance to the world is not the same as relevance to the people who love you. My grandson doesn't care about my political opinions, but when he's confused about life, when he's struggling with a decision, when he needs someone to listen without judgment, he comes to me. Not because I'm relevant to the world, because I'm relevant to him. My daughter doesn't need my advice about her career. She's more successful than I ever was. But when she needs to remember what her mother was like, when she needs someone to tell her she's doing okay, when she needs to cry about how hard it is to raise teenagers, she comes to me. You won't be relevant to the world after 75. Accept that now. But you can be relevant to the people in your life in ways that no one else can. You have history. You have perspective. You have love that has been tested over decades. That relevance doesn't show up on the news. It doesn't get you invited to panels or conferences, but it matters more than any of that ever did. Thing number 6, you will lose your fear. Now this one is a gift. This one makes everything else bearable. When you're young, you're afraid of everything. Afraid of failure, afraid of embarrassment, afraid of what people think, afraid of dying, afraid of living wrong. After 75, the fear starts to evaporate. Not because you become brave, because you realize how little any of it matters. I used to be terrified of public speaking. Terrified. I would lose sleep for days before any presentation. My hands would shake, my voice would crack. Last year, my grandson asked me to speak at his graduation party, give some words of wisdom to his friends. I said yes without hesitation, stood up in front of 50 young people and talked for 10 minutes about life. No notes, no preparation, no fear. My grandson asked me afterward, "Grandpa, how were you so calm? I would have been terrified." I told him the truth. When you're 82, you've already done everything embarrassing you're ever going to do. You've failed publicly, you've said stupid things, you've made every mistake possible, and you're still here. So what's left to be afraid of? This is the freedom that comes with aging, the freedom of having nothing left to prove. I don't care if people think I'm foolish. I don't care if I'm wrong about something. I don't care if someone judges me. What are they going to do? Ruin my career? I'm retired. Damage my reputation? With whom? I'm 82 years old. My reputation is irrelevant. This might be the greatest gift of aging. The opinions that used to imprison you simply stop mattering. You finally get to be yourself, fully, completely, without apology. I wish I could have felt this at 30. I wasted so much time caring what people thought, so much energy managing impressions, so much life living for audiences that weren't even paying attention. At 82, I wear what I want, say what I think, and do what I feel like doing. And if someone disapproves, I genuinely don't care. Not in a defiant way, in a peaceful way. Their judgment simply doesn't register anymore. This freedom is coming for you. The only tragedy would be waiting until 75 to start experiencing it. Thing number 7, you will lose your tomorrow. This is the big one, the one underneath all the others. After 75, you stop thinking about the future. Not because you're depressed, because the future is no longer guaranteed. When you're 30, you plan for decades, career trajectory, retirement savings, where you'll be in 20 years. When you're 82, you plan for today. Maybe this week, maybe this month if you're optimistic. The future shrinks until it becomes now. And here's the gift hidden inside this loss. When you have no tomorrow, you finally start living today. I spent 70 years postponing joy. I'll be happy when I get the promotion. I'll relax when the kids are grown. I'll enjoy life when I retire. I'll travel when I have time. Then tomorrow started running out, and I realized that I had been trading my todays for tomorrows that might never come. Now I live differently. When my grandson visits, I don't think about what I have to do later. I just sit with him, present, fully there. When I see a beautiful sunset, I don't take a picture to look at later. I just watch it, let it fill me up. When I want to tell someone I love them, I don't wait for the right moment. I say it now, right now, because I might not have later. This is what mortality teaches you, if you let it. Every moment is complete in itself. Every day is enough. You don't need a perfect future to be happy right now. You don't need everything to work out to feel peace right now. You don't need tomorrow to experience joy right now. The people who suffer most at my age are the ones who can't let go of tomorrow. They're anxious about their health, worried about dying, stressed about what will happen to their families. They spend their remaining days terrified of running out of days. The people who thrive are the ones who accept that tomorrow is not promised and therefore today is precious. I wake up every morning grateful, not for any particular thing, just grateful that I woke up, that I have another day, that the sun is shining or the rain is falling or whatever is happening is happening. This is what losing tomorrow gives you, the ability to finally be here, fully here, in the only moment any of us actually ever have. So let me tell you what I know. You will lose your perfect health, but you will gain appreciation for the body you still have. You will lose your busy schedule, but you will gain the ability to simply exist without needing to produce. You will lose old friends, but you will gain a deeper gratitude for every relationship you still have. You will lose your independence, but you will gain intimacy and connection you never had when you were doing everything alone. You will lose your relevance to the world, but you will gain relevance to the people who actually love you. You will lose your fear, and you will finally experience the freedom of being yourself without apology. You will lose your tomorrow, and you will finally start living today. These losses are coming for you, whether you like them or not, whether you prepare for them or not, whether you accept them gracefully or fight them bitterly. The question is not whether you will lose these things. The question is what you will gain in their place. I'm 82 years old. I have lost almost everything I thought mattered when I was young. My health is diminished. My schedule is empty. My friends are gone. My independence is compromised. My relevance is fading. My future is measured in seasons, not decades. And I am happier than I have ever been in my entire life. Not because of the losses, because of them. Every loss stripped away something I was holding on to too tightly. Every loss created space for something more important. Every loss taught me what actually matters. Love matters. Presence matters. Gratitude matters. This moment, right now, matters. Everything else was always noise. You're going to lose the noise, and when you do, you're finally going to hear the music that was playing underneath it all along. Don't be afraid of what's coming. Be grateful that you still have time to prepare. Be grateful that someone is telling you this now instead of letting you figure it out alone at 75. Be grateful that you can start letting go of the things that don't matter today instead of waiting for life to rip them away from you. I'm 82 years old. I'm running out of time, but I'm not running out of peace because I finally understand that the losses were never the enemy. The enemy was my refusal to let go. Let go now, before life forces you to, and discover what I discovered. On the other side of loss is freedom. On the other side of fear is peace. On the other side of everything you think you need is everything you actually want. I'm tired now. My body needs rest, but my heart is full. Because I got to tell you this. I got to warn you. I got to share what took me 82 years to learn. Don't wait until you're my age.